Hi, welcome to our first tutorial in Visual Basic. We'll be creating Project 1, which is the Sales Commission Calculator. So let's get started. First you want to do is open up Visual Basic, which is located in the Start menu. I already have it open, so I'm going to just click Visual Basic, which is a Visual Studio program. Visual Studio, Visual Basic. 2010 Express is the version we're using. We're going to be creating a new project today. So this is how you want to create it. Please follow the following steps. New project, Windows Form Application. Under Name, change Windows Application 1 to the project. For our example, today is Project 1 is the name. Hit OK. It should generate your project, but for your computers at school, it actually might ask you for one more step. Which location do you want to save it in? You're going to pick your H drive, and please save it into a folder named Project 1 within a Visual Basic folder, and which we'll show you at the end of this project. So let's get started. Here's our form, and basically what we're going to be doing is you can make this form larger or smaller. So we're going to make it about this big so you can see it on your screen. We're going to be using the toolbar or toolbox, which has all our controls. Okay, these are all the Visual Basic controls, and there's many of them located in here. Today we're only going to be using the label, the text box, and the command button. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is drag and drop your label. So I'm going to put two labels on my first form here. So I can go back to Toolbox and select Label again and place it here. Or you can just copy and paste the first one. Okay, so you have two labels. Next thing you want to do is add your text boxes. So go down, scroll down to text box, and just line up everything properly. So we'll do the other way now. If you want to copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, and another one gets pasted. They'll have different code names. I don't know if you are aware. As we place these, each one has its own properties. Over here is a property window. Okay, so it says Properties, Label 1 is the one that's selected. If I select this, it'll say Text Box 1. If I select this, it'll say Text Box 2. These are actually the code names, so when you refer to something, you actually have to use these when you're coding. So let's add the last thing, a command button. Here it is, and I want to create it. I want to line up everything using the grids. So my form, I'm going to readjust it because I don't need it that big. And feel free to create a smaller layout if you like. Okay, and we're almost done here. So this is sales commission. Now now that I've added all the controls, I want to make sure I label everything and make it look nice. So over here it says Form 1. So I click the form, and then I go into the property menu, and I want to change the actual title name. So under text property, I'm going to change this to Sales Commission. Okay, and label 1, I select it, and I go into its properties, select text, and we'll change that to sales. Label 2 we'll change to commission. So that's the text property for label 2. And text box 1, text box 2, there's nothing in here, so we don't have to really change the labels that appear. Button 1, it says button 1 there, so we're going to change the text property to calculate. That's what the user of the program will see on top of that button. Now it's all worded properly. We have to code it, so it actually does a function now. So the way we're going to code this, I'm going to give you one line of code. But basically what it's going to do is the user is going to place a number of the amount of sales they have, and then hit calculate. And in the commission text box, you'll see the commission. Okay, so we're going to use a sample commission of 10%. So in the calculate button, we're going to double click and add the following line of code. So we're going to say text box 2 dot the text inside equals value of text box 1 dot text close bracket times, and we're using the star above the number 8, not the actual X for times, okay? So that's the operator. 10%, so that's 0.1. That'd be 10%. Okay, so that's our code. One more thing we're going to get you to add right away are comments. So if you hit enter and hit double slash, or actually single slash, sorry, you should be able to add a comment. Actually, maybe we'll introduce that to you in the next project. So why don't we hit run, or go back to our form, double check everything's fine. We added our line of code in the calculator button, hit play, and let's put, here's our form, here's our application. We're going to type in something. Let's go 5,000. And if I hit calculate, 10% of 5,000 is $500. So that is correct. So my program is working. If it doesn't work, just remember you might get some errors here. So you can close the program down, or it might not even run. But make sure you hit stop before you start making some edits. So when you hit run or start debug, there's a stop button beside it as well. So always make sure when you're playing around with debugging or figuring out what's wrong or right, you're running it, and if something goes wrong, you make sure you stop it and go check your code again. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.